Yo,
Hey.
what up, dude?
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. What's up, James?
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Hi, Jane.
Hello.
How are you?
Actually, I'm doing very well. I just drove down to Miami. Enjoying the weather down here.
Yeah. Can I come?
Let me ask them. I'm sure there's no problem.
Yeah.
How are you guys?
Good. Good.
It's cold up here, James.
Yeah, I heard that it was what, -1 this morning up on the lake.
I don't know. I stay in bed as late as I can. Stay warm.
I hear you there. What the heck? That book sent you guys
Yeah.
pictures. I'm in the middle of reading it now. Oh, unbelievable.
Good.
Very good.
That's awesome. I'll have to check that out. Let's see. Okay. Thought Amber, maybe not. So did everybody get to watch the message this week?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty intense. I mean, it was good. It came off the back of the, last 3 weeks, kind of in line, but
The guy who was preaching, he should definitely be a preacher.
he did pretty good, right?
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the way that he spoke too. It was very relatable and
Yeah.
flowed very nicely.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Well, Amber will probably join us, but can you hear us? Thanks. Yeah. So, yeah, this one's a pretty big one. I mean, I think I've had a lot of discussions about this topic. I mean, the topic obviously this week was not too bullied to build, and talking about the devil being the ultimate bully of our souls, being the devil being the ultimate bully. But I think we've all known and know of a bully in our lifetime. I've had many conversations lately about this, and when I went to school, there was bullies for sure. I remember getting bullied when I was little. And I think we kind of made a joke out of it later in the years. It's like, yeah, everybody gets bullied, or everybody knew that one bully kid. That's, kind of typical pedigree, if you will. You can explain pretty much the same person at every school across the nation and be the same person. But I mean, it's a serious thing. It's a serious thing on how it affects our self-worth, being on the receiving end of it. That's what I got. A lot of the message was, to me, it's a constant challenge and constant test. Bullying to me now is just like, the devil's test your will, your strength, to see what you'll do if you will break. And as we know, God believes in the greatness inside you and believes that how great you are, knows how great you are, and he doesn't test people he knows can't handle it.
Right.
right? So when I think of somebody saying I'm being bullied, and I think about the person getting bullied, how great that person must be, that God gave them that responsibility to take on the hurt from others. Because that's really what bullying comes down to, right? Somebody else is hurting and they're projecting onto you. But I see it as like, wow, what a greatness to be in a situation where you're bullied or pushed around. Now, in the moment, obviously, it doesn't feel like that to the receiving end of it. But to me, it's like, wow, what a great gift to know right away that God believes in you that much and thinks you're that great that you can take on the pain of the world and help heal it. And that's how I kind of look at it. I thought the message he delivered was pretty epic. And like I said, I thought he did a really good job. I think he's probably going to be taking some of Chad's Sundays.
Yeah.
I thought he did just as good. But I want to read out just the 4 main points that were in the notes. And then, if anybody wants to discuss or chime in, I would love to hear your take on this or experience on it. So, point 1 was they talk about who's bullying you. And that's when, in the message you talked about, really bullying is the devil trying to steal our souls, right? Trying to make you feel a certain way or not a way about yourself to destroy you and crush you. And, God, no matter what, loves you and believes that you're great. Point 2 was what they've been saying. So there was a couple he the one I liked the most was there is therefore now no condemnation to those who are in Jesus Christ. That's Romans. But he was talking the message about like, what are the bullies saying? What are they actually saying? Out loud. And to me, like I explained, I think what my head is, they're just projecting the pain that's within them upon others. And a lot of time it's not even personal because it's so damaging to them. And that's the only way they know how to release that. And unfortunately, there's always a receiving end of that hurt and pain. So, he's talking about like listening to what they're actually saying. Is it about you? Is it personal? Can you look beyond that? Can you see beyond that it might not have anything to do with you at all and it could be a hurting soul, coming at you? And then the 4th one was the last 2 are identity and authority. So I just want to jump into some questions because I think this is I gave you my take on it, but I think this is up for interpretation because I think everybody goes through something differently when it comes to this topic. And that's kind of my take because I received some of it when I was young, but not too much of it. So I'm going to throw a couple questions on the table and just, we got 2 more coming in. So in the message, hi people.
Hi, sorry I'm late.
No, don't worry. Don't even sweat it. Carrie?
What's going on?
Good. Sorry we got messing the time. I'm so used to living in Arizona where I don't have to celebrate change.
Well, and I'm in Arizona now, so like it's crazy.
Yeah. Well, it changed in New York and I forgot to coordinate it. So we'll figure it out for the weeks coming, but
Yeah.
you're here for me. Anyway, we were just going over the message and I was kind of going to open it up to the floor. The message that was preached this week about bullying, but never too bullied to build, right? And the message behind how strong that is. And I was just giving my take, but I really want to open it up to the floor on the topic. And if there's anything you want to share personally, if any part of the message meant something to you, but one of the topics they brought up was how in that message they talked about the tactics of Satan, right? The bully of souls. And what are some tactics that you feel like your enemy or somebody that's bullying you or coming at you uses on you? What are some of
Yeah.
those tactics? Can you recognize them? And like we talked about before, recognizing what they're saying can help you understand why it's happening. And a lot of times I think you'll find it's not as personal as we feel it is when we're getting attacked. So anybody want to share on this topic? I know a lot of you messaged me personally and watched this message. So anything stick out to you in the message or anything you wanted to share?
Where was this
think-
30 years ago? Go ahead.
Go ahead, James.
Where was this 30 years ago? This message. You know, I've lived in homes since I was, I don't know, 6, 7 years old, all the way up to where I was 16. Then I moved out on my own. And in those homes, it wasn't just going to a school for, you know, okay, you have a class here, class there with the same guy that bullies you. You're living with it.
Yeah.
And it actually shapes who you are. And it's like, where was this, you know, 30 years ago when I was 16 and just trying to get out of this? So it's that message definitely hit me, and I had to pause it numerous times. So
Well, thank you for sharing that with us, James. I appreciate it. Yeah, go ahead, Matt.
Excuse me. So I just wanted to share that yesterday I've been working out with my brother, and we meal prepped yesterday. And during when I was grilling, I threw on the service, and it was kind of cool to see him like take it in and listen, and just kind of like how it affected him. I think it really like touched his soul. So that was encouraging.
That's amazing. That's amazing witness. I like that. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, I'm gonna unmute there. Go ahead, Portia.
So for me, my bully was myself. And so the way I interpret when I had started years ago, I had awareness of what was really going on in my body. And you know, I took the stance that was gonna identify with having a chronic or autoimmune disease. And so I went on to try and figure out what was going on, and you know, all this time to trying to research and figure out, and no judgment, but there's a lot of false information out there. So I went down a really road and very frustrating, and I felt so defeated because I had gotten so pushed myself further and further away because I had all the wrong information. I was creating all this resistance of trying to figure out what was wrong. And so when I finally figured out and realized that I wasn't doing the thing right, what I needed to fix my a lot of guilt and shame, because now my body was even more broken down. And I mean, it got to where I couldn't look at myself, and I just thought, I'm never going to do this because I don't know where to begin anymore. Just thought back to that younger self, that all the abuse that I had put trying to figure out what was wrong. And oh, your ego kind of takes over, and you're like, well, if I can just fix the outside, that must mean I make that's going to fix the inside. But really, you're weaker and sicker on the inside. And so anyway, to the point, now I'm on track, but the point is that I think it's a good reminder to not to be so hard on yourself, to have the compassion and to hold this. Once you have the awareness and you do work on the emotional end, that when you try to come up, no matter what it or brings you a challenge, that you have the control of how long that negativity sticks around. So if you set the boundaries and you think, another thing is that how you react back to whatever it might be, yourself, something or a thought or someone or something. And you don't have to give your strength or your power away to that, because you are stronger than them. And to have to believe, you know, in the end, that everything will be okay. if you just keep moving forward, to believe that things happen for you, not to you, and just to trust the plan. And that if you keep going, I guarantee that 10 out of 10 times you'll get out of that defeated state, no matter what it is, or if somebody is taking you down or you're taking your down, and just amazingly beautiful things will come out of it.
Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing that. I was that's a good point to what I was kind of saying earlier about sometimes, like she said, bullying herself, going through that. We do that a lot to ourselves and put ourselves in the position to get bullied by other people as well. So that's what it says. He says, listen to what is being said, right? Is it being said to you? Are you saying it to yourself? Are you hard on yourself? Do you bully yourself? So I like that take on it as well. Anybody else like to share?
I'll share.
Okay.
I remember when I was in 7th grade, I was going through so much stuff that I just started taking it out on the kids at my school. And, I wanted to fit in and stuff like that. So I thought, oh, if I pick on these kids, I'm going to look cool to this group of kids that they'll accept me. And it was just a really tough time. And as I look back at it, that's the reason why I was going through all that was, 13. I don't know, most of you guys at 13 years old, you're struggling as a 13-year-old guy. You're trying to figure yourself out
Mhm.
and stuff.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Thanks for sharing that. It's a very good point. I mean, that's like I said, a lot of times, we feel a certain way, a certain pain or certain hurt, and we go do the bullying because we've had it done to us. How do you break the chain there? Thanks for sharing that. Amber?
I was always kind of like taking care of the underdog, but ironically enough, I definitely, when it came to bullying, I pushed mom around a lot when we were younger. And I think that was because it was for two reasons. It was one, because I felt safe, that no matter how mean or angry or big and scary I tried to be, that she would love me anyway. So it was like a safe place to kind of like exert my power and kind of practice what it felt like to be scary. Really, I was just like raging at the world and upset at other things going on in my life that I didn't have control over. But I oftentimes would project it onto mom. I think my internet is unstable again. But the other part of that was that I think that also I felt like I was challenging her to be stronger because I perceived the world taking advantage of her sometimes. And I think when I would try to get big and bad with her as a teenager, I was challenging her to like step up to show me what she had so that I knew that she could protect me, even though I did know that, but just a different form of bullying in some weird, safe place that I found to do it where like the world couldn't see me doing it or something. But
yeah, I love that perspective. I mean, that's why I want to really open this up to everybody, because it's such a different from everybody's standpoint of how they've gone through it and what it is. And we've already heard from everybody who's kind of different kind of way of how they look at how they've experienced in their lives. Anybody else like to talk? Carrie, Marina? We got some new people in. Holly, Marina, go ahead.
Hi. Hi, everyone. I'm Holly. I was just meditating on Colossians 2:14, and it says he canceled the record of the charges against us and took it away by nailing it to the cross. In this way, he disarmed the spiritual rulers and authorities. He shamed them publicly by his victory over them on the cross. So it just took me back to like early 2020, I heard a message about becoming more of an overcomer, going into overthrow, and not allowing the enemy to accuse me all the time, because it would leave me feeling shameful, dirty, like I didn't do anything wrong, but I have this like nagging sense that I'm doing everything wrong. And so I just started talking back to the devil. I have to do it. I fight this battle every day. But I feel like those verses, I just got them today, but they went hand in hand with just standing firm and being like, I can outlast the devil. He can come at me with all this stuff, but I know I'm flawless because of the blood of Christ. Him and all of the demons were made publicly shamed at the cross. So they were stripped of their power, and they don't want us to know that. And that's kind of where I've been like the whole past year, just making him the victim and refusing to be the victim anymore.
That's beautiful, Holly. Love that so much.
Thank you. It's a battle. Even today, I was like tears, like fighting this battle. But I'm just grateful that this group was on my agenda for tonight. 'Cause, like, if I ever need this, it's right now. I need to discuss this.
That's awesome. I feel really similar in like the way I've reflected on the message from today and how it really applies to my everyday life. Some days I really feel the pressure, like in the position I am at work, I'm constantly under scrutiny, whether it's just based off my appearance or, you know, how well I'm doing my job for how old everybody thinks I am. And there's days that like it breaks me down and I hear people make comments like, there's no way, like I get like, there's no way she's even 18. How is she doing this job? And she's not doing a good job. And what really I took away from today's message was that Jesus is going to feed my soul. He's going to give it back. He's going to let me wear these things because like we mentioned in the beginning, you know, he thinks I can do it. And it's going to come back to me and help me grow and become more and just keep putting that divine light back into the world. Whereas there's so many people who, if they were faced with some of the scrutiny that I see, I think that they would crumble and they would do that same thing where they turn and they attack it to somebody else because they don't want to carry it. And it's really important to like have that trust and faith that you're going to be taken care of if you're feeling these things. You're feeling it because you are strong and you are, you know, you are doing work.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you for sharing that. Carrie, what you got, girl?
I relate so much with Portia. I mean, I really do, you know, listen to, I don't know if it's actually me or if it's, you know, the enemy talking to me and telling me like I'm not good enough or, you know, making me feel ashamed or whatever. And so I feel like it's like spiritual warfare sometimes, you know, and like I have to remind myself that I am the daughter of the Most High. And, you know, I feel like a little bit like it's like a muscle, you know, our spirituality and our faith is like a muscle and we have to work it out. You know, we have to like practice it all the time to stay strong because those voices, you know, wherever they come from, they're strong, you know, they're strong sometimes. And it is a battle.
100% agree with you. Spiritual warfare it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was reminded of Ephesians 6:14. Stand your ground, putting on the belt of truth and the body armor of God's righteousness.
Beautiful.
That was beautiful.
I am a daughter of the King. That's so good.
It's so
Wait, Gareth?
interesting that God, what's that, Mike?
Elena, can you hear us?
Elena? Yeah. You got to unmute on the bottom left side, Elena.
There you are.
Oh, hi.
I just
I've never
wanted-
been on Zoom before. I've never
okay.
done Zoom.
Hi, Elena.
Want to introduce you to the whole group. Elena's new tonight. Holly's new tonight. Already shared with us. Matt joined us last week. Everybody else kind of knows each other, but I wanted you to meet everybody and everybody know each other.
Can we just real quick talk about like how beautiful it is that, you know, God gives us this perfect gift of life to be witness to all these miracles around us, including our own heart and breath that like beats independently from our thoughts every single night and day that we completely overlook, right? We're like these complete walking miracles, and we wake up and we're perfect in every way, and then we're like hating on ourselves and finding all the horrible things and why we're not good enough and pretty enough and talented enough, not good enough in the eyes of others, or not getting that requited love that we so want from others, and all these different things. And then we have the actual bullies in the world, you know, coming at us too, and all the evil and chaos that exists. So let's talk about how good it is and how blessed we are to know each other, that we get to, like, I don't know, somehow squash some of that by building, right? To your point, Mike, on the other side of the equation is like, how good does it feel to build each other up, and how good does it feel to build up a stranger and, you know, talk to every single clerk and use their name tags and just everyone everywhere, build them up, build them up. That's what fills my heart. And somehow makes me feel more beautiful. If there wasn't any mirrors and I just based it on my actions, I would feel super beautiful.
Wow. I like what you said about in the beginning there, because it went, you know, in the message today, he speaks of just that. Like, you know, it's ironic that we don't give ourselves enough credit, you know, like you said, but, you know, when they call on to save Israel, and they talked about in the message today about, you know, they weren't good enough. What could I possibly do? You know, I'm little. Our crew's not strong enough. Like, how could we possibly help save Israel? And it's like, that's the point. You've been asked. That's your duty. You can. You know, God believes that you're great. You know, when He can believe that you're that great, and you know it in your heart, and like Carrie was saying, it's a spiritual warfare. Like, there's days I know for a fact, like, that I am loved by everybody I know, that God's got my back, like, full of it. And like, it could change in a day where I'm just like, you know, I'm completely opposite on myself. And it's crazy that we can do that. And, you know, I think it really does start with your heart and your spirituality in your heart, and the trust that no matter what happens to you, you always have your back by the biggest homie right behind you for life. Like, no matter what you do, right or wrong. And when you fully accept that in every day, and the spiritual warfare back and forth, lessons and lessons and lessons, I think we start to see a different circle around us. We start to see other people treating us the way that we put out and we would do unto others. So, you know, sometimes we can perpetuate it if we're not taking care of ourselves. So,
Well, one thing about that, Mike, is like we have the physical gym where we want to take care of our physical body. We need to step into the spiritual gym and, you know, deepen the word and
yeah,
prayer, and just you know, have that fellowship with God in the spiritual gym.
heck yeah. Yeah, don't we always talk about that? Like, the physical is easy because we get to see it and like look at it. And like Amber said, if there wasn't a mirror, would any of us work out? No. If you can't see the results, it's kind of like what we do with the brain. Not a lot of people work on the brain because you can't wake up and look in the mirror and see if your brain's nicer or more beautiful or cooler or bigger. And that's the same thing with spirituality. Like Brandon was saying, it's like sometimes it's hard for us to know that we woke up and we're more spiritual or we're stronger in it, because we always reference everything to a visual, a mirror, or what our image looks like to other eyes. I think if we can get out of that and know that we're perfect no matter what, always, and we're pure, there is no mirrors. Right? We are just looking at ourselves. We're looking at the reflection of who we are. If we love who we are and we look out, everybody's beautiful.
We're kind of like a giant transformer. All of us are different cells in one body. Like, you know, like Carrie's the heart, and like, you know, Portia's like the eyes, and
I'll be an arm.
Lainey's like, you know, I don't know, like, right? Like we're all like different parts of one giant collective, which is God, right? And so when we look at it like that, it's kind of simplifies things, and we have to not forget to like call in all the angels. Like we're being faced with things every day, even in our strong moments. There's going to be things that are just going to show up right in front of us and like challenge everything about all of our practices. And you know, in those moments, like I have all kinds of funny things I say to myself. I'm like calling in all angels, cobalt blue rays of protection, God is with me, you know, whatever it is. But you know, be gone, demons. Like, you know, no, there's no room for this. And try to throw love at those situations, and also be willing to understand that God can take some of it. Like I can do so much, but sometimes in the face of evil, I there's nothing I can do. I can throw all the love I want, and I may not change how that other person is feeling or perceiving me or whatever is going on, that bully.
Yeah.
And I can still show them a model of love, but God might have to do the rest. I might not be able to change that situation. I have to accept that. It's a big part of letting go of ego.
Yeah. Beautiful. I like way you broke that up. The yeah, I think it was towards the end of the message. I can't remember where he spoke of, you know, it comes in forms. The enemy will use it in forms of shame and questioning. And this is exactly what we're talking about, right? Like people can feel you can feel shame from questioning, you know, definitely yourself, people questioning you, what you're doing, why you're doing it. But yeah, shame and questioning are the two forms that come in from the enemy that that gives you this feeling of either bullying yourself, like when I was talking about, or being bullied by others, or perpetuating the bullying, like, you know, do on to others, like you feel like you're being done to you. You know, like Brandon was talking about, like you pass it along because you don't know how to deal with it. But yeah, look for those markers as well. And you know, for me, what I got from the entire message was like it was kind of a roadmap to like pay attention and be hyper aware of who's bullying who in any given situation. You know, sometimes you might feel like somebody's bullying you, but maybe you are the one. Or it is what it is. But I felt like this was like a how-to guide of really be self-aware of, listen to what is being said, who's bullying you, why, are you feeling shame? Are you getting questions? I mean, there's really a guidebook to understand, you know, how could you get this out of your life? And everybody made great points, and like coming back to the same thing, right? It's like if he's in your heart and you truly believe that he's your protector through all things, you can't be bullied.
And including the self-talks, like if we love God, then we have to be kind to God. And if we are the living God, and if God lives within us, then we need to be nice to ourselves and remember we are the temple, and, you know, be a little kinder to God when we're being kind to ourselves, really, which is ridiculous that we can't see how absolutely miraculous and beautiful we are in so many ways. But keep practicing.
Who liked Dave over Chad? Be honest. That was a good message. Dave did a really good job. Who else? Is Matt, you talking? No, you're not talking to us. I got him on mute. I thought you were trying to talk. That was the last in that series, the broken, you know, the I think there was only 4 episodes to that series, so that was the last one in it, and the bullying part. But you know, I think that the title really represented it, the whole message in a strong way, and you know, the build part to me really stuck out. Like you use these. James said early on, he says, "Where was this 30 years ago?" You know, it helped to mold who we become in our adult lives, and that's what all of our interactions do. Growing up, is it molds us into who we are. And sometimes when you're run into that, or you're even giving it, nonstop bullying, you become the person you become as an adult, and it has serious effects. But in the message, he's really he's really harping on the fact that no matter what you go through, if you're the bullied or the bully, that there's a building within all this, right? You're never too bullied to build, right? You can build off it. I'm sorry, hold on. I got you, James. I see you. Push on. There you go.
There you go. Sorry to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
The one thing this was the first time listening to the message. I think one of the greatest things that there was how he put together the two synopses of Peter at the end. And you think about how many times did he say, I do not know him, I do not know him. And Christ knew that beforehand. And yet he's the one that he built the church. I just find that how many times do we sin and he's denying Christ and Christ is right there. That how much he loved Peter, how much does he love us? And how much, it's just simply amazing.
I love that. James sent me a text earlier, saying the same. What a great message. It was a good one. I felt like everybody got a chance to read it, and it was a really good one. It hit home, and I knew it was going to be a good topic for us to discuss because, as we've all just shared, we really shared a very unique, different perspective and experience in kind of one topic, which is rare sometimes, but really is how we all live, right? We're all struggling in the same struggles, just it's on the script differently. There's different actors, different names, but it's still the same drama. And to get through it, you really got to be, like Carrie said, spiritual warfare. You got to get that to balanced in your life. And
bring it full circle to our discussion a few weeks ago about who's in your circle, like God first, then us, then the people we choose to be around. And like, I was my own worst enemy as a young woman because I invited in a lot of that evil, not knowing, for many different reasons, to be popular, to be loved, to be accepted, all the reasons. And then, people hurt you or bring devil in closer to you or whatnot. And then you somehow then are shamed because you feel responsible for those things. And it just, every day we get a little bit stronger and we learn a little bit more and we gain a little bit more wisdom. And it really starts with us, and as God is our backer, so we can kind of choose who we want in that circle and really paying attention to that at all times. And when we're vibrating like that, we're going to even attract more wonderful people in. And less of the devil, hopefully.
Amazing. Thank you so much. That's a great little closing segment. We got less than a minute here. Next week we're on again, but the last ZOE Connects for the first season is the weekend of the 29th. So or the week of the 29th, whatever date that is. That's the last one of the season 1 of Connect Group, which usually means there's like a 1 week or 2 week break sometimes in between, and then we do season 2. It was a little funky last year, but I'll keep you guys posted through the emails and let you know exactly what's going on. But 2 Mondays from now, we'll do the ZOE again. But next Monday, we continue our group. Love you guys. Appreciate you all. Thanks for sharing today, everybody speaking up and talking.
Love you all.
Can I make a quick request? Sorry. Yeah.
Bye, Holly. Bye, Matt. Carrie, Karina.
Go ahead, Matt.
If you guys could keep my family and my sister in your prayers, I'd appreciate it. There was recently a death in the family on Sunday, so my life's just kind of getting messy right now. So
100%, dude.
Got you.
Hey, message me your phone number. I'm going to add you to our group. All right.
Okay. Thank
All
you.
right. Keep us in
All right.
touch. Text me
Holly,
anytime. Love you, dude.
Matthew, welcome. Love you all. Brandon,
Thank you.
Carrie.